going into it, I think he was already familiar with Figma. So.
And that's the thing with, so Michael always talks about how much like everything is constantly changing in UX and UI, and nothing's really like set in stone, which I think is really cool. Like we're going to be growing with this industry, and like it's going to take you wherever you want. And there's so many like different parts of UX and UI that like I didn't even know were available until I was in the stream. So like there's literally like you can just write like copywriting for UX, and like if you enjoy that part of it, and like just literally any part of people using an interface, like you can do that part of it.
Testing and there's
and it's really cool that way.
A world of opportunities.
Yeah, there's so much room to grow in it. And I feel like there's elements that you're learning in this that you would really not learn in the others. Like I understand how that would apply to anything, but there's skills that you're learning in the program that I feel are really important to learn in a directed way, rather than just saying I'll figure it out afterwards. Because if you're believing like Adobe XD is hard right now, it is really helpful with guidance. Before UX UI became a stream option, and when I was going to take illustration, I was just planning on taking a UX UI course in the future, just because my whole family was like, if you're going into graphic design, you need to do UX UI. I was like, what the heck is this? I didn't know anything about it, but my family who was in business and stuff knew how important it was in like the industry. So I was like, okay, that's a later problem. But it definitely like fell into place perfectly. So if you're at all interested in it, you can also reach out to me if you have any other questions and you don't want to ask right now, or look at the Laws of UX book. But Kristen and Michael are amazing. So if they're going to be your teachers as well for the future, like,
thanks, Shay. That's awesome. That's does anybody have any other questions, Shay? That was so good. I so much appreciate you taking the time with them. What program do you spend the most time using from Jess?
Yeah, usually XD. We have a lot of InVision prototyping. Krista mentioned that you guys are going to go into prototyping soon. We do a lot in InVision as well. I personally have been using the XD prototyping feature. I clicked with that a little bit better, but you have the option to literally use any tool that you want for it, which has been amazing. I do encourage you guys to use like a range of them and kind of get used to more. I didn't really do that, and I know people who did definitely found it beneficial. And like, yeah, now that I'm very stuck in XD's ways, I almost don't want to leave it. But it is gonna, like, our work is gonna be constantly changing, so it is important to kind of adapt to the different programs that you'll be using. But XD is definitely what I've been using most.
Yeah. I don't know if you see if you have your chat open there, Shay. Jess is saying they were thinking about going into the illustration stream, but now thinking UX UI, and they're saying, do you still feel you have opportunity to do some illustrations?
Yeah, so I don't feel that opportunity ever stopped. It is very clear that the people in illustration, their skills advanced a lot farther from where I stopped doing it. And I did put more time into my UX and UI. The reason I wanted to go into illustration is I love working with kids, and I wanted to write a children's book and illustrate it as well. So that was kind of the main reason I wanted to do that. But I also kind of figured that that's something I can develop along the way. You do have specialized print and design, which is a lot of vector artwork that you'll be doing. It's not digital painting the way they do in the illustration stream. But I think if you do have an interest in illustration, and that's kind of what you've been enjoying more, it is worth looking into that as well. I honestly would say whatever you've been enjoying most in this year, and it feels like time is just kind of passing while you're doing the work, regardless of what grades you're getting in the classes, whatever class you're enjoying the most, follow that, because you're going to want to enjoy it. And the streams, as much as like it's only 2 courses, it is what you're going to be like using as like, this is the stream I took, and like putting it out there, and you can use it as an advantage when you're applying to jobs or even in freelance work. So yeah, I would look at what you were really enjoying. Ignore your grades right now. I was really stressed about that for illustration. I didn't want to go because I just didn't like, I wasn't getting the same grades as people who were in my head illustrating much better than me. But I was still going to do it anyways, just because it was something I enjoyed the most. But then UX UI came and I knew I would like that better. So. But don't let web design, like coding wise,
Yeah, cloud.
It's not relevant. Ignore coding for now in this. It has small elements, but nothing that would harm your grades or enjoyment, more so.
I think it can be, thank you for saying that, Shay, about selecting your stream, because I think it can be approached a couple ways, but almost a combination of the two, which is find what you love, because you don't want to be dreading. And like you said, it's 2 courses, but I think it does really feel as though that's directing your your next steps once you leave Mohawk, even though there's still a world of opportunities, because you guys have taken, all your other general courses are still gonna, if you leave the UI stream, it doesn't mean you're not going to get a job as a print graphic designer or in a corporate design company, because you'll still have, probably other portfolio work that can direct that. But finding out what you love, but at the same time, I also think, because we are in college, where we feel we're going to perhaps maybe evolve the most, where we feel we can learn the most, because it's nice to say, illustration's really easy. Maybe you got a glimpse of the classes already. You're like, I can do all of that, no problem. And maybe you're just going to end up coasting through it, versus perhaps maybe you're thinking, I'm going to go another stream because I'm going to really take a lot more knowledge away from it. You're going to learn a lot of new things, perhaps. But again, you need to make sure that it's something that fuels your heart and you're going to enjoy it, versus kicking and screaming through the whole thing. Definitely. You're like, why did I take this stream? So
that was the thing with illustration. I knew it would challenge me, and that's why I was interested in it as well. But at that point, I thought maybe the challenge was a bit beyond the enjoyment factor, and it would just be more stressful for me at that point. Than actually enjoying it. So that's why I ended up picking this one ultimately. For the job question, do you guys have life right now for creative? Yeah. So I think he does touch on that a bit. Well, at least he did with us, just explaining how there is still a lot of opportunity. Like I said, it is only 2 courses. So it's not like you're leaving and you're only skilled in illustration if you did end up picking that one. There's so many opportunities with it as well. I personally can't speak too much to it. I don't know where it could lead you, but I do know for all the other courses, we're learning so much in there that is just as applicable to getting a job in any graphic design position. If you really think about it and you compare it to other programs who don't have a stream option, it's like if you've never used that illustration degree, you still have a graphic design degree in a sense. So, but you can use your illustration. Don't take it that way.
I was gonna say,
you can use it.
A lot of websites nowadays are, you integrate illustrations, and I think we talk about that in the course. Shay, I believe we touched upon that as well. These guys did an in-class assignment. I don't know if you guys, no, I don't think we did it for you guys. Creating a quick onboarding screens for an app. So I think a lot of people were touching upon some illustrations for that sort of thing. So absolutely, if you're in that stream, we're not going to direct how and what to illustrate. But it also doesn't mean that if you're in the UX UI stream, you don't have the opportunities to flex that skill if you have it, because you could have the opportunity to create your own illustrations for those sort of things if you feel it's appropriate, obviously, for that project, for that client, etc.
Always you can build on any of the aspects that you're enjoying in any of the streams. Print might be a bit hard if you're really interested in print. It might be hard to kind of build on those, but you can do any of those on the side, while focusing on what you think you wouldn't be able to, and you might need a little push in. That might be a helpful thing. So if you really enjoy illustration and you think you could build on that from like either an online course or like just YouTube videos, and then like focus on UI because that's not something you fully understand, then maybe do it that way, or even the other way if you think you can take a UI course and then just like you need to push in illustration because that's not your strong suit. That's also a way of looking at it. They do go hand in hand, as Kristen was saying. Like there's so many times I've been making a site and I'm like, oh, now I just have to use online graphics because I cannot create them. But now I've kind of gotten used to being able to make them. But at the start, it was hard. I needed the kick from the specialized print and design course to teach us how to do vector art, which definitely was helpful.
Yeah. And you guys will hopefully see me in September for specialized print.
Oh,
that's me. Hopefully we'll see, but that's amazing, Shay. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Is there any other questions?
Is Michaela's, or that'll be with your other class?
What's that, sorry?
Michaela will be speaking with the other class?
Yeah, Michaela's going to speak to the Monday class. I'm probably, since I recorded yours and I'm going to record Michaela's, I'm probably just going to post them for both streams to just take a listen and watch this class. There's a fair amount of their students. We do have a couple more, but you know, I'm sure a few of them will want to jump in and look at this, and everything you've said has been really helpful. So I'd love for the other stream to have a watch of this as well. So
definitely, yeah.
Does anybody else have any other questions for Shay before she's got to get out to work? I know.
Keep me.
All right. Shay, thank you so much. That was really, really helpful. I think really valuable. I hope you guys took, I think for me, I took a lot away from that, just getting a good solid perspective from you. So that's actually really good. I'm going to send this to Michael too, so he can watch it as well. So yeah, you guys have a couple weeks left. Shay, if you're comfortable with them reaching out, I don't know if you want to like leave an email. If you're not comfortable, you can pass it to me if you want to think about it. If you're not comfortable just posting it publicly, you can shoot me a message, or maybe if people have questions, they can direct them to me and then I can direct them to you if you would like. And
you can post it with this. It's no problem.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll send it to you. Yeah.
Okay. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much, Shay. And Shay, do you use your Mohawk email, or I'd like to send you a little thank you, or you can send me your, just shoot me an email with your personal email address. And I'd like to just send you a teeny tiny little thank you. So
thank you. I love talking about UX UI.
Oh, I know. And that's why you and Michaela were perfect candidates. And they're definitely two of the all-stars.
Wasn't as nerve-wracking as I thought it'd be. You guys are great.
They're a nice, easygoing group. So where's work? Where do you work again?
I work at CIBC. I'm a teller. Yeah, which is actually a lot of UX UI things come into my brain while I'm working there. It's so you'll never be able to not think.
You can't turn it off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like people will come in and not know how to do something, and I just have to explain it in a way that like I know makes sense based on UX. It's so crazy. Yeah. It'll be everywhere now.
So true. All right, Shay. Well, thank you so much, and have a good day at work.
Thanks, you too.
All right, see you later. I'm going to stop the recording now, folks.